If you want to embroider your own shoes just like this, then there are a few supplies that you are definitely going to need. First off, let's start with the embroidery needles. In all honesty, any embroidery needle will do. I do use a lot of DMC embroidery needles, but these right here don't even have a brand name and these work just fine. I always get asked if there's like a specific needle that you have to use for shoe embroidery, but you can use any embroidery needle. It's more about your technique and how you pull the needle up through the shoe fabric. If your needle is snapping a lot, you're probably pulling it through at a weird angle and bending the shaft. A non-negotiable for me as a shoe embroidery artist are finger protectors. They come in a little box just like this, and there's a few different sizes if you want to put them on different fingers. I wear them on my index and my middle finger just like this, and it gives me a little bit of extra grip on the needle when I'm pulling it through the shoe fabric, and it also protects the skin on my fingertips. I actually didn't use these for the first 2 years when I was embroidering shoes, and I really damaged the skin on my fingertips. So these, for me, you have to get them if you're thinking about starting this craft. You're obviously going to need a shoe to embroider onto if you want to start shoe embroidery, and I always recommend canvas style shoes like Converse or Vans. Here I have just a regular pair of Chuck All-Stars, and I'm going to be embroidering onto these today. I think these are like a lift platform style, but they're made of the same fabric. They're both canvas style. Something I would urge you to stay away from are anything that's made of leather like Air Force Ones, or even the leather Converse I know that they make. Boots like Doc Martens and things like that. You're not going to be able to embroider onto that kind of fabric, so stick with the canvas styles for sure. This is a Dritz disappearing ink marker. This is such a helpful tool, especially if you are trying to embroider something specific, maybe some text or a specific kind of flower onto your shoes. If you use the blue end, you can draw out your design or your text, embroider over it, and then once you're done, you just spray it with a little bit of water from like a mist spray bottle, or you could just pop it in your sink and run some water over it and the ink will disappear. If you use the purple side, it disappears when it comes into contact with warm air. So I usually recommend using the blue side because it gives you a little bit more control. You're going to need a pair of sharp scissors. I really love these scissors. Any scissors will obviously work, but these are small and sharp and perfect for any embroidery project. You're going to need somewhere to keep your needle when you're not using it. I know this sounds a little bit weird, but if you lose a needle and it falls into your carpet or onto your floor, this could end up causing you an injury, so just play it safe and have something to stick your needles in when you're not embroidering. I have this old lady hedgehog that my nana left me, and her head is the pin cushion, and I keep all of my needles in here when I'm not using them. You're obviously going to need thread when you are embroidering your shoes, and there are a couple of different brands that I recommend for beginners that are a little bit more affordable than DMC thread, which is what I use when I'm embroidering shoes for clients. You can get a huge bag like this from Amazon for like $10, and the quality is much better than you would expect, and they also have the same number code for the colors as DMC does, so it's like a dupe for DMC kind of. Those are all of the essentials that you will need if you are thinking about starting shoe embroidery as a hobby.